All right, with me now is a journalist who has covered Mike Pence's political career for years now. Tom LoBianco is the author of the book Piety Power, Mike Pence and the Taking of the White House. Good to see you, Tom, and congrats on your book.
Thank you.
Okay, so knowing Mike Pence the way you do, how involved do you think he is, or how much does he know about what may have transpired between the president and Ukraine?
Yeah, I think the vice president is in a fundamentally different place here than he was during the Trump-Russia investigation and the Mueller probe. And the first real hint you got of that was last week, or a week and a half ago, when Trump said at the UN press conference that that maybe we ought to hear Mike Pence's tapes. Look, that only escalated this past week when the Washington Post revealed even more of how much he was exposed in all this. You know, there's a lot of questions still out there. Obviously, that's why the House Democrats issued that subpoena just a few days ago. How exposed is he here? That is the key question. We're still waiting to find out.
You sent out a tweet earlier saying to people, you know, don't underestimate Mike Pence, tweeting this: if he didn't read the July 25th call readout, possibly it was because he knew it could contain trouble. Again, one key lesson in my reporting: don't underestimate Mike Pence. I made that mistake when I started covering him, learned my lesson with the book. What do you mean?
You know, one of my sources put it this way. They said, boring is his camouflage. And I used to fall into that trap very early. Look, I never understood before I really pulled back for this book and went deeper in the reporting that he's very cunning and he's a very good tactician, not a very good strategist, but good at tactics. And you have to wonder, and this is something that some of my sources have raised, you know, whether or not Keith Kellogg, his national security advisor, yeah, he was on that call on July 25th, but maybe he told him not to look at the readout. Maybe he warned him, hey, this is some bad stuff. Now, look, I don't know that one way or another, but Pence is very good, and he's very good at coming out clean. If anyone can thread the needle on this, it's probably him, although that looks very tricky right now.
So prior to becoming vice president, Mike Pence, you know, had a lot to say about impeachment in general. Take a listen to how to his comments, rather, on Bill Clinton's impeachment.
You make a point in your report that this business of high crimes and misdemeanors goes to the question of whether or not the person serving as president of the United States put their own interests, their personal interests, ahead of public service. Now, when you testified here 10 years ago, you indicated that you testified about the allegations made against President Clinton. You said if they were true, it showed that over many months Mr. Clinton engaged in deception, lying under oath, concealing evidence, tampering with witnesses, and in general obstructing justice by seeking to prevent the proper functioning of the courts, the grand jury, and the investigation of the Office of Independent Counsel. I believe, I'm inferring here, I believe you testified that if those things were proven to be true, those would be instances where a president put his personal interest above public service.
So, Tom, do you see a contradiction in his point of view today?
You know, one of the most jarring things from when he joined the Trump campaign and, you know, eventually took office was that he used to be very clear about Constitution, the rule of law. He used to make this a point. You know, he studied Russell Kirk as sort of a basis of this Goldwater Reagan-style conservatism. And he used to talk about that very often, you know, the idea that no man is above the law. It's jarring to watch the Pence of the last, 16 years prior to Trump and then to listen to him now, because it's such a major pivot. So, yeah, it's a huge change from where he was just a few years ago.
All right, Tom LoBianco, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you.